The second I'm going to do it. The second part of my work on Crowley is going to be a piece of satire. So now basically I'm going to run through everything from the perspective of one of these evangelical Christian fucks that you see who go about Crowley in a completely different light. I'm going to state their argument now. Their argument would be Aleister Crowley was a Satanist, Nazi pedophile. We know he was a Nazi because he lived in Germany in the mid-1940s, and that proves he was a Nazi. He wrote, quote, pro-Nazi propaganda. That proves he was a Nazi. He worshipped Satan, and he believed that Satan was his complete Lord and Master. He prayed to Satan every day for 5 hours a day, and if you read the Book of the Law, you can clearly see that. When he talks about, I am the snake that giveth knowledge, it is a clear reference to Lucifer in the Old Testament. Aleister Crowley wanted people to stray away from the Garden of Eden. He wanted people to become devil worshippers just like he was. He wanted blasphemy, rape. He wanted cataclysmic events. Aleister Crowley wanted nothing more but to see the world collapse under his feet. Aleister Crowley was the most devilish, evil, satanic man that ever lived. And people like Anton LaVey are only a slight shadow of what Crowley was and the huge, devilish monster that Aleister Crowley was. He advocated the use of drugs in order to seek communication with Satan, and that is something which the Beatles also agreed with. And you can take note that on their cover of their famous album, possibly Beatles fans would call their most important album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, or what might be better considered Satan Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. You can see that Aleister Crowley is among one of the first figures on the album cover, and that proves that the Beatles are all Satanists, especially John Lennon. And it's also a major theory which I believe in as, you know, an evangelical Christian, which is what I am, that John Lennon was also behind the World Trade Center attack, and he knew about it many years in advance, and that Mark David Chapman and John Wilkes Booth, and they were all in on it. And what they did was they shot John Lennon just as John Wilkes Booth shot Abraham Lincoln, because Abraham Lincoln obviously also knew about the attack on the World Trade Center. I think this is a piece of government information that has been known for all eternity, ever since the foundation of America itself. And I think America has always been, you know, part of the occult, especially with the Freemasons, which Aleister Crowley was the highest degree member of. And the Freemasons are a group which are disguised as a group of good people who donate money and do shit like that, but they're really not. On the lower levels, perhaps they are, but the higher levels of the Freemasons, you can obviously see that they do have giant sex orgies in which they do sacrifice the Virgin Woman at the end, and they do worship Baphomet, just as the Knights Templar did. If you look at Eliphas Levi's drawing of Baphomet, you can almost see a resemblance of that in what we would consider Freemasonic culture. You can see very much Baphomet ideals, transgender ideals. You can see that the LGBT community is definitely in league with Satan. Aleister Crowley was bisexual, and bisexuality itself is definitely one of the tools that Satan uses to corrupt the youth of today, because there are definitely more gay, lesbian, and bisexual teens and young adults than there were 50 or 60 years ago. And that's mainly because of Aleister Crowley telling people that it was okay to do those things, just as it was okay to commit ritual murder. And Aleister Crowley advocated both homosexuality and ritual murder, and I think that is why we are in the state we are today.